Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Hello, good evening. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case, and I'll have two special guests tonight, and one is Reverend Paul Jakes. He is president of the Christian Council on Urban Affairs. Reverend Jakes, welcome to On the Case.
It's a pleasure to be with you and the On the Case family.
Yes, and then about a half an hour, we're going to have on his boss, and that is Congressman Danny K. Davis, District 7, who is always accessible. He's the most accessible and honest congressman I know. Well, of course, Reverend Jonathan Jackson, too. I can get to those two people very, very easily. So tell me something. This atmosphere is so toxic in America, Reverend Jakes, and with Trump pretending to be Jesus in a poster, which is highly offensive, and attacking the Pope. Can you imagine attacking the Pope?
Well,
how do you feel and isn't that blasphemy?
It's quite clear to me that the cross of Calvary with Jesus gave us character. And those that believe in Jesus act a certain way. They live a certain way. They speak a certain way. And it is quite clear that the gentleman in the Oval Office is not acting, is not speaking, is not demonstrating those characteristics that actually are reflective of Christianity and Christ-likeness.
But how do you feel about his? First of all, about a year ago, I Googled and asked, "Is he a Christian?" And it came back. He said no. He said and gave the date that he was not a Christian. And then just a couple of days ago, I Googled again. It says he's now a non-denominational Christian. What is that? What does that mean?
Well, there's a song that we sing in the church, and we'll know that we are Christians by our love, And it is quite clear that there is no demonstration of love that is being demonstrated by the leader of this country. I think that many of us are really saddened that this is even a discussion having someone who has actually served like a Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was such a phenomenal president who would actually lead the country in prayer with issues that pertain to people and peace. We've had other presidents that have demonstrated the level of character that actually shows that we are a people who are not anti-humanity, but that we are for humanity and that we are about building up and not tearing down.
Absolutely. Well, back in 2016, before he ran for the president, he said that he was going to go to Washington, D.C. and drain the swamp. Well, I think he is the swamp. What do you think about his goal, and is he doing it?
Well, I think that you have to look at the background and nature of the gentleman who is talking in this fashion. And if you look at the background closely, you'll see one, that he is not a practicing Christian. I remember there being a situation where he was reelected, and he was in a church, the national church, and there the pastor of the church, who so happened to be a female, mentioned that Mr. President, you are frightening us with your rhetoric. Can you tone down the rhetoric? I'm paraphrasing. And he got upset that
Yes.
she actually said that. But we have to understand that men and women of God who are really speaking and telling it like it is cannot be controlled by the government. We cannot allow ourselves to even go along with that, where, you know, there in history, there were kings who created their own religion, and instead of allowing the archbishop to put the crown upon his head, he took the crown from the archbishop and put the crown on his head himself. In other words, he removed the old ancient landmarks, those foundations that have been solid and that have helped countries to be able to be sustained. We cannot remove those things that have given us the actual foundation. If you look at a dollar bill, you would see that it says, "In God we trust." And so to actually go against that is actually saying that we have a person who has a attitude and a character that is below the regular loving neighbor and human being. We don't want someone that is depicting himself as Jesus. That is a frightening thing, and it is bordering upon being blasphemous.
I certainly agree with you. And that picture of him pretending to be Christ, he says he was pretending to be a doctor. I don't believe that. Putting his hand on a man trying to heal him. He's the one who needs healing, you know?
Quite true. I'm looking at the same picture, and if you're going to be a doctor, then you're going to have a doctor outfit on. You're going to have a white jacket, and you are going to look completely different. This picture here shows him with a robe on and this bright light behind him, and his hand touching this man, and the man doesn't look like he's getting any better. So that shows a sign right there that he is a long way from even being a disciple.
He's a disciple of the devil, and I do believe that he is demonic. Everything he does is evil and racist, and it is so anti-American. But he claims that we're the problem, and then picking the fight with Pope Leo the 14th. He is, I mean, that's totally, and the Pope Leo is not afraid of him either, and told him,
No.
I fear him not, I fear his administration not. But according to an alternate article that was confirmed, the Pentagon has now said that they're going to target him for an attack. The Pentagon, and then Pete Hegseth, who is Secretary of Defense, has basically said the same thing. What do you think about that?
Now, where are they talking about attacking?
The Pope.
They're talking about the Vatican?
The Vatican, I'm sorry, yes.
My goodness. I am appalled to actually hear that. I think that it's quite clear that if is thinking that they can do this and then not suffer the how can I say it, the wrath of God. Uh,
Yes.
I think that he's in bad shape mentally. So therefore, I think it calls upon the Congress to move toward hearing Al Green, who has called for his impeachment.
Okay. And we have a comment from the Higher Learning TV, the network TV show. It says, right on, Reverend Paul Jakes. King James is the current Christian religion followed by many cultures that enslave us, still do to this day, but that's another show. Thank you for
Mhm.
calling in, or watching rather. Okay, great. So, so how are we going to handle this? Now, also, Trump has canceled $11 million contract with a Miami Archdiocese program that serviced hundreds of children, children
Mhm.
that are here. They're migrant children, but they are unattended. So he says because they're not unintended, they don't need the money. So they have
Well,
closed their program after 60 years, Reverend Jakes.
yes, yes. Well, there's a passage of scripture that said, "Suffer little children
Yeah.
to come unto me and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven."
Yes.
One thing Jesus taught us is that we need to embrace our children, do everything we can in order to bring them closer and give them the support that's needed. I think that if there is any move to pull these funds back, I think that there needs to be a prayer meeting going on in every church, every uh, uh, every religious organization needs to come together, and that we need to not only speak up, but we need to actually start making the move that only those Christians and people of faith know that we can actually do, and that is on our knees. That's the power that will deal with uh, this man and to replace him as the president of this country based on the actions that he has taken. If that happens, I'm asking every church, every Christian, every religious organization to get on their knees and to pray and to say, Lord, come right now, deal with this demon and cast it out because it is an insult to the church. It's an insult to God's people. We
Absolutely.
must conquer Satan. We must be able to say that he must indeed be whipped again, just like he was whipped when they thought they had Jesus and they had him on the cross and they nailed his hands and riveted his feet and they thought it was all over. They put him in Joseph's new tomb. But I'm here today to tell you, and I know that other saints understand, on the third day, he got up
Yeah.
with all power in his hand, and he's got power over any government, especially this government head, to let him know that he can't destroy what God has blessed and put together.
And I'm going to say amen to that. We'll take a break. We will be back with more right after this.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Welcome to Master Force with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page, as we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force. Our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
When you see Black children misbehaving in public, being loud, disrespectful, and destructive, do you think to yourself, what they need is a good beating? That's what's wrong with these parents. They don't know how to discipline their children. Were you disciplined in that way? And did your parents also call you stupid, ignorant, and lazy? That's the way you break a slave. You terrorize them with constant fear of painful punishment. You teach them they're powerless to speak up, and you insult them so they feel like nothing. We were broken by parents who were broken, by parents who were broken. It's time to end the cycle of brokenness and bring healing to ourselves and our communities by using knowledge, respect, and love. We'll show you how. I'm Naima Latif. Get the book Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. On sale now. Go to www.naimalatif.com.
Producer and host of On the Case, and my special guest is Reverend Paul Jakes. He is president of the Christian Council on Urban Affairs. Reverend Jakes, are you there? Okay, so he's gonna be here. He just probably stepped away for just a few minutes, but we're talking about Donald Trump going after the Pope, and what he's really doing is shooting himself in the foot. Why do I say that? Because 53% of Catholics voted for him this last election, and now they're turning away from him. But also, they are besides they're turning away, they have also looked at his co-conspirators. His co-conspirators are the Republican House and Senate representatives in Washington. So, and I'm told that many of them are telling the president just to shut up, but he won't do it. He just keeps rattling off, but he has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. So so what he's doing is putting a nail in the coffin of his co-conspirators as well. And again, many of them are talking about not voting for Republicans and turning to the Democrats. So pretty soon we're going to have on Congressman Danny K. Davis. He had a TV show. He has a TV show, and he will be here about probably in about 10 more minutes because he's rushing from that. So I am very concerned about the war in Iran. First of all, it's not our war. And the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Nayi, the Prime Minister of Israel, has talked to him and stroked his head and his ego and said, "Come join me in fighting against Iran." And that's why he did it. He still has not explained why we are in this war, because it's not our war. It's definitely not our war. And so as a result, we've lost 13 U.S. soldiers, 13 families destroyed because of this man's decision to fight Israel's war that's been going on since, what, 1948? It's been going on that long. And now he's saying that the war is almost over, and that Iran has agreed to give him precious minerals. And then Iran officials shot back in public statements saying, "No, we did not. No, we did not." So, I don't understand uh, why he lies so much, number one, and why he's spending $1 to $2 billion a day. These are our tax money. That's our tax money he's spending. He's spending $1 to $2 billion a day on this war, and it's just not right what he's doing. So, and then there are Democrats who have filed articles of impeachment. One has filed 13 times, but we don't have the numbers. That's the problem. In the House, with Speaker Mike Johnson, he's not going to let that fly. And then in the Senate, they're not doing it either. If they do, and I think eventually they will, because they're shooting themselves in their own feet too, because the people are turning against Trump. And if they're turning against Trump, then he is he's also going to lose votes that way. And so, but I am also upset about what has been done by us, in America, because of this president and because of Pete Hegseth, that they have bombed the school. Do you remember that story? And there were like over 100 children. These are grade school children who have been killed. They were killed. These are little children. And basically all we said was, "Oops, we didn't know. We didn't know." Yeah, they knew. They absolutely knew. So what are Catholic leaders trying about this? What is Father Flager saying? I was asked. Well, Father Flager is having a press conference this coming Sunday after worship is over, which is about 12:30 p.m. And he has said plenty about him, but he's going to have more to say. And I don't know what he's going to say, but I know that he is going to be very stern with the President, and I hate to call him President Trump, because he's absolutely wrong. There you are, Reverend Jakes.
Yes, I'm sorry, right. I hit the wrong button. Mm-hmm.
So the Reverend, my pastor, Father Michael Flager, is having a press conference this Sunday at 12:30. So hopefully you can join him if you're not in church preaching yourself.
Yeah, well, it needs to be done everywhere. Father Flager is on the south side of Chicago, and I'm on the west side, and we very well will probably have a statement made in some other form, maybe Facebook. But I want you to know that there is witchcraft going on in DC. There's witchcraft happening in the White House. And there only can be a voice of reason by us, the people, standing up and not only praying, but acting. And I commend Father Flager for the press conference. I think that if the Pope would use the voice of Father Flager to represent the Catholic Church, he would find that he would have a voice that would actually hit the right points and get Trump up off of his back.
Absolutely, because he is just, everywhere he goes, everything he does, it's always chaos and confusion. It's like he's looking at the United States and the world in a little on his desk or something or table, and he's saying in the morning, "How can I impose pain on this country?" And in Cuba, he has stopped the oil, so they haven't had electricity in a long time because
Yeah.
he's messing with little brown countries, threatening to go to Africa, and in Iran, he's demanding that they give him their precious minerals. And he said that they agreed to it, but the Iranian officials today said we didn't give him anything, and these minerals are as precious to us as anything. So he keeps
Yes.
lying.
Yes. Yes. Uh, we have seen uh, very in history presidents that have actually sacrificed their lives in order to bring peace. Uh, when you think about an Abraham Lincoln, uh, who was a Republican, he sacrificed his life for peace and bringing uh, people into the consciousness that slaves in this country needed to be free. Uh, we find that there are others who stood up, like Roosevelt, that actually did everything he could, even being sickly, to make sure that there was good leadership and a role model to follow. Uh, even Ronald Reagan, when he found out that he was wrong in certain things, he made a turnaround. And and the big things that he said that was so prominent, he said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down these walls."
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying today that, Mr. President, there are walls that have been built that you have built up to divide people and to hurt people. You have done things to even make families weep and cry that are immigrants. I think that it's now time to come to your senses, do a turnaround, be the best uh, person to look in the mirror is for you to look at yourself and to see how you are creating a problem that is prominent. Even our closest friends, Canada, is afraid of you and afraid of what you might say. So at this point, I'm encouraging the president to look in the mirror and to make a decision to turn around all the things that he's done that is wrong, that's hurting the world.
Well, Reverend Belichick, I wish he would do that, but when he looks in the mirror, he thinks he's the most handsomest man in the world, the biggest, baddest man in the world. In fact, he thinks he is God. He thinks he is the Pope. He thinks he's the man of the world, but he's not. It's in his mind. His mind is twisted. And I know his
Mm-hmm.
father, Fred, uh, raised him in a very mean way, according to his niece. And so I just don't know. But Ronald Reagan's former assistant today said it's time to impeach him. So he and the Democrats are calling on the Congress to uh, invoke the Amendment 25. What do you think about that?
Well, there have been so many people that have been calling to Congressman Davis's office from all over the district, and they're saying we want him out now, invoke this and impeach him now, and so at this point, I'm saying the will of the people is where we stand. The will of the people, and I know that November is coming. The Democrats, as well as Republicans, have an opportunity to change the balance of power in Congress, and this is now the time to do so. But if we can do a switcheroo and get him out of office now, wow, that would be just fantastic.
Absolutely. Let's take a break. We will be back with more of On the Case right after this.
Leaders of nonprofits empowering worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
I'm Chinta.
Great day. It's your girl Asada here to introduce a new female solution show called Asada Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asada says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on the Female Solution.
All right, we're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. My special guest is Reverend Paul Jenks. He is president of the Christian Council on Urban Affairs. And speaking of your organization, what are you doing to combat all the mess that Trump has started all over the world? In fact, not just America, but all over the world.
Well, we've been involved in think tanks that have brought leaders together, and we have been firing out different statements to people that are in leadership organizations because, at this point, we need everybody to join in because when the Lord sent his son into this corrupt world, it was to deal with the disobedience that broke the relationship with God. And it was necessary that man's character be changed. And so we are talking to pastors and leaders, asking them from every denomination, and I'm glad to work with so many different denominations, even in my role as a faith-based coordinator for one of the U.S. congressmen that will be coming on in a little bit, Congressman Danny Davis. We've been talking all over about how we can actually make a difference. And I think that there is a move, a function that will take place that everybody will start to get on their knees and start praying. But then we're going to get up off of our knees and we're going to start moving with some action as well. We're going to go where we need to go. If it's going to DC, we'll go to DC and we'll bring our Bibles and we'll speak up and speak out. But one thing all the churches can do is wherever they are now, make sure that they speak up and do the best they can. Even some of the federal facilities, you don't have to be loud. You can just simply walk around it 7 times, and I guarantee you they'll get the message in DC that we're serious and we're praying.
Absolutely. It should be nationwide. That should be a nationwide campaign doing that. The more numbers, the better. Like the No King protests.
Yes.
He hates those protests because they're massive. And, most of those protesters are white, if you've noticed that.
Well, I participated in a No Kings rally that was Black. It was called by Congressman Davis, and that particular march took place on the west side, and we made a big difference, and we ended up from the park all the way to the Aspire Center, and Congressman gave a very powerful speech. Also, LaShawn Ford, the young man who just won the Democratic primary, made a powerful speech that we have to do everything we can in order to empower our community. That means registering to vote. We are going to ask people, even in our churches, to register. That is something that everyone can do. And we, especially in the African American church experience, should do so, because years ago, they blocked our parents from even being able to come and to vote. But now we have the opportunity to register. We need to do that, and not only register, but also to vote as well. And if we stand up in that fashion and do everything we can, I guarantee you things will change. And I believe it's changing now, even as we speak. And I'm looking forward to hearing Congressman Davis shortly to share some of the things that are going on in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely. And he's getting it all together. But are you going to be holding voter registration drives?
We will support those organizations that do voter registration. Take, for instance, Rainbow Push is the leader in this effort. Under the leadership of the late Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., there were thousands that were registered all over the country. And I think that it's our role as churches that are responsible, churches that are progressive, to be able to open up our doors to have voter registration at the tables outside in the lobby, and to register as many people that we can. This is a crisis situation. And if we don't register people to vote and get ready for this November election, shame on us.
Absolutely. We now are joined with Representative Danny K. Davis from the 7th Congressional District. Thank you, Congressman. Yeah, now you just flew in.
Strausberg, how are you?
I'm okay. I know you just flew in from Washington. You had your own TV show to do. So thank you for joining us on the Female Solution for the on the case show. Thank you so much. So tell me something. How do you feel about Trump, the president, pretending he's Christ, healing a man, and picking a fight with Pope Leo the 14th?
Well, I think that of all the things that President Trump may have done in terms of picking a fight, this may be his biggest mistake because most people who are faith orientated, they are faith orientated. And whatever it is that you're saying contrary to their faith and contrary to that orientation, you're in conflict with their beliefs. Let me tell you, my religion is essentially the same as my politics. Both of them have to do with what I want to see the world become. My religion tells me that I want to see hungry people fed. My politics tell me I want to see hungry people fed. My religion tells me I want to see sick people able to get medical care. My politics tell me the same thing. So when you start messing around with people's faith, you're in uncharted water. So I think that Mr. Trump has met his match.
Absolutely, he's met his match. And Father Flager is having a press conference at 12:30 Sunday after a worship service. So he's going to address the threats that his not just Trump has given to the Pope, but the Pentagon has now said that they're going to attack the
Vatican.
Vatican, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that, Congressman? Attacking the
Yeah. They're going to send airplanes over the Vatican.
I don't know what, but they did say that. It was confirmed.
They're going to bomb the Vatican.
I don't.
Well,
The idea is crazy.
I don't think that even President Trump will go to that extent.
I hope not. I hope not. But also, yeah, they did bomb the school where there were little children, over 100 little children killed. And it's like, oops, we made a mistake.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate, but it's not only, we spent 9 hours yesterday waiting to take a vote. And of course, the Republican House, they have a majority, but they can't get their bills passed. They can't get their agenda, which really means that they don't know how to run a government. And they don't need to be in charge. So not only are we talking about Mr. Trump not being in office, but we're also talking about not allowing Republicans to be the majority in either one of the legislative bodies that are indeed a part of our government structure in this country. And so while Trump is the leader, but if they are following.
Well, as the congressman is
right into the gates of hell. And so they don't want to be following a leader that's going to lead them to destruction. And so it's not just Trump, it's Trump and the trumpeteers
Yes.
That is, those who embolden him as he emboldens them. But we will cut them off at the pass. And November is going to be the path where we cut them off.
Well,
Absolutely.
I just hope that we come out this time, because not all of us came out during the midterm. It's like we have to get angry to come out in droves. So I'm
We
just
can
praying
not
that,
only be angry, but we can also be smart. It's good to be angry, but it's just as good to be smart. And the smart thing to do is to make sure we come out in droves.
absolutely.
Make sure we vote like there is no end to voting. Voting is the power that we have. And if you don't use it, then you will lose it. And so if you don't use it, you lose it. So we got to make sure that we vote every opportunity that there is, and that we do so in significant numbers.
Right.
It
And so,
only takes you 3 or 4 minutes to vote.
right.
You can almost just say I'm voting and vote. And so if you can't take 3 or 4 minutes out to vote, what can you take 3 or 4 minutes to do?
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
the latest person to call for the Congress to invoke the Amendment 25 is the former assistant to Reagan. He did that today. So we're going to have to take a break, and we'll be back with more with Congressman Danny K. Davis and Reverend Paul Jakes right after this.
Housing for the homeless, because my little brother, in which we're doing this documentary for, Douglas Robinson, your death will not be in vain.
He was a heck of a great dude. And I love Doug. Doug loved me.
Just being around him, he had a good spirit. He was a healing person.
They are there.
Get SROs back.
When you give to the poor,
should not be forced out of their neighborhoods when it goes through a period of transformation.
Because there are too many people who are losing their homes to taxes because they can't pay a $1,000 tax bill.
Okay, we're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer of On the Case. My special guest is Representative Danny K. Davis from the 7th Congressional District, and Reverend Paul Jakes, who is president of the Christian Council on Urban Affairs. Thank you both, gentlemen, for being my guest. And Congressman, before we go on with the Trump issue, I wanted to ask you, you said you were going to look into allegations of discrimination at the hatchery in your district. Have you had a chance to look into those allegations?
You know, I really have not had the opportunity and probably will not have the opportunity until maybe the week of Memorial Day.
Okay.
Right now, we are deep in negotiations and deep in legislative activity. We had the First Lady of the United States of America with us the other day
I was going to
in the
ask you
Ways
about,
and Means Committee.
yes.
Yeah, there are so many issues. There's every kind of issue. And of course, we were discussing how do you improve the lives of foster children.
Yes.
There are thousands of foster children who have no parents, who are aging out of care, and they need as much help as we can provide to them. And so we were pleased that President Trump's wife has indicated some interest in this arena, and we need every bit of help that we can get. Therefore, we are delighted that she is interested in foster children and is lending her voice to try to help us get legislation passed. We have 6 bills that we are looking at. 2 of them are bills that I've introduced. And so
It's yeah. So I know that you told me about the meeting, the Ways and Means Committee, and how the First Lady was going to be there. And I wanted to ask you, uh, uh, what was your reaction to some of the things that she said? So as soon as you get your phone fixed, can you hear me now?
Well,
Right.
let me just commend Congressman Davis. His character speaks volumes.
Yes.
His ability to see what a second chance means, to be able to embrace little children, as I gave scripture earlier. He sees that there needs to be a way to allow the government, the dollars that we have, to help and not to tear down, to build up and to give people a chance to live. I want to just commend him for the years of service that he has given. And around January 17th, he will be actually retiring. But he says that the greatest role is to be a citizen of this country and to use his voice continuously. And so with that, I want to just commend Congressman Davis. It's been an honor, sir, working with you and for you. And I will always value the mentoring and leadership that you have given.
Absolutely. So, what do you think about the First Lady appearing on the committee that he sits on? That's one of the highest committees in Congress on this issue.
Well, when the First Lady spoke up the other day, all I could do is say, "Amen."
You're referring to when she said that the women who were abused in the Epstein scandal should their stories told. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it's quite clear that she wanted to make sure that her name stayed clear of all of that, and I don't blame her. And then I commend her for going before the Ways and Means Committee and then using whatever power she has in order to influence a better life for children and other people in this country. Right on. And thumbs up, in history will reflect that she was on the right side of history.
Well, she's certainly on the right side of history on this issue, but she can, if she wants to, she can organize women and then demand that the women, those victims, come to the house and tell their story. And in fact, if I were she, which I would never marry somebody like you, I would bring the women there and hold a press conference right there.
Oh, absolutely. She has ability to draw every women's organization together and to speak up and speak out and to do it in such a way that shows really we're close to mothers, remembering mothers in a special way. Mothers have always taken a leadership role, and this is a beautiful role that she has taken. And kudos to her again for taking that role and coming before the Ways and Means Committee.
All right, and we had the congressman back. So, Congressman, how do you feel about the first lady being on your committee and vowing to work with you on this youth issue?
Well, I think that anytime you can work with individuals to try and accomplish a common objective, that's a good thing. But we're not going to get carried away with the fact that the First Lady, we work with Republicans every day. I mean, we don't work with the First Lady every day because the First Lady is not a member of Congress. But we work with Republicans every day. And even though we have disagreements, there are some areas, for example, child welfare happens to be an area that you sometimes can get more agreement around. For example, we agree on many issues and many things. Where we often disagree is after you get through talking about it, then you say, let's make it happen. Let's pay for it. And where you find much disagreement is between Republicans and Democrats when it comes to how are you going to pay for the operation of government. Republicans often feel and believe in a trickle-down economic theory that says that the wealthy maintain and control the production and distribution of goods and services. And so if you ain't got a way to pay for what you're talking about, you're just whistling Dixie. You're just having fun. You're just sounding good, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And so you're just playing with yourself. And so if you say, take me to the well, and ain't no water in the well, what good is it to be in the well? And so people disagree. The rich, the policies of the wealthy are designed to keep the wealthy wealthy. If you ain't got no money, if you don't have any goods and services, if you're not spending your money with Black people, if you're not getting rich people to pay the appropriate amount of taxes. And so it takes a whole bunch of stuff to try to get equity, to try to get equality. And if you're not doing all of it, then you're not going to make it happen. I hear Black folks, they talk good games, but they spend their money somewhere other than in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
our biggest problems is we don't own enough. We don't own, if you don't own anything, then you don't have a way to make no profit. I was at a church the other Sunday, and progressive. I was so thrilled and delighted because they were preaching Black economics. If you can't eat, people are hungry.
That's right.
The good Lord intended to let people be hungry. He never would have provided the fish and loaves of bread to become enough to feed a multitude.
Absolutely. Well, Congressman, we are way past deadline. So I appreciate your coming here, rushing from your TV show. Thank you so very much. We love you so much. And you too, Reverend Paul Jakes. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure.
See
Thank
you
you.
next
It's a
Friday.
pleasure, and you just stay on the case.
Thank you so much, Congressman. See
All
you next
right.
Friday.
Take care.
Thank you.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.